All right. We should be live. Should be good to go. YouTube. Working like a well-oiled machine today. YouTube. Yes, perfect. Good to go. Good to go. Okay. We have a full hour. We have a full hour of Nick Shirley to go through. He went back, ladies and gentlemen. He went back. I think he actually recorded this. I want to say a few days before he uploaded it. Ha, no shit. No, this happened, I believe, a while ago, because I remember Fox News was there on site. Sorry, I'm setting things up. I'm not entirely focused just yet. That's why I'm sounding like a total retard, but typical day for me. Anyway, yes, Nick Shirley went back. Like I said, though, I think this happened over a week ago. Fox News was on the ground, CNN was on the ground, all the mainstream outlets who should have been, I don't know, doing their job, being journalists, being reporters, looking into these sort of things, but no, we have a YouTuber who, once again, by the way, he's exploding. When I first started showing Nick Shirley on the channel, he was under 1 million subs. He has blown up. He has exploded because of this, and we're going to dive into a massive hour-long video. And then we got a Moose on the Loose video. Holy shit. Then we got a Moose on the Loose video to get through. And that is going to do it for today's live stream. So let's get right into things. Let's waste no more time.
I'm asking No. You don't ask me nothing, man. $2.25 million. Get out.
Are we the only community that does fraud?
How come they said this building was closed? Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is? Advanced Mobility? Yeah, we're looking for it. Never heard of it?
They know we're shining the light on the fraud, and they have no defense.
Would you like to see anybody in the government here held accountable?
Most definitely, because there can definitely be an allocation of funds.
The Minnesota fraud scandal continues to get worse and worse as billions of dollars of fraud has been exposed, and as I showed the world the blatant fraud taking place at daycares and other locations across Minnesota, it became the most viewed video expose on the internet and created instant change within the government as the Fed sent thousands of federal agents to Minnesota, and the HHS froze over $185 million in all payments to childcare. And while politicians like Tim Walz call people like me white supremacists and far-right delusional conspiracy theorists for exposing the fraud, meanwhile, he actually dropped out of running for re-election. The Minnesota fraud scandal has erupted the nation as protests and riots took place, all starting because daycares like Quality Leering Center were exposed. However,
We are here to leer, and I am very excited to see what Nick Shirley has in store. The fact that Tim Walz is resigning, retiring, stepping down, not running again, just tells you everything you need to know. What a terrible government. A state government. Just absolutely garbage. Tim Walz is a complete embarrassment.
the daycares is only a small portion of the fraud taking place in Minnesota. In this video, I will take you into what has continued to allow this fraud to happen and connect all of the dots for you, exposing all of the fraud from strange connections of the business owners and the politicians who have openly admitted to the fraud on live TV. And to dive deep into the fraud, I met back up with the local David, who has been investigating this widespread fraud scandal for years. So here in Minnesota, you have daycare fraud, you have adult daycare fraud, you have healthcare fraud, and you even have more fraud. What's some of the fraud that's also taking place here inside of Minnesota?
Well, what I think might be sort of the heart of the beast here is this transportation fraud. And what I mean by that is in Minnesota, we have something called non-emergency medical transportation, NEMT. My research has shown that there are about 1,020 such companies in Minnesota, and more than 90% of them are Somali owned.
And so right here on the table, what do we have? All this information right here.
So I have a number of companies that are local here in the Twin Cities, and this is just a fraction of the companies that are out there. What I found was that the The national average for a non-emergency medical transportation company is 20 vehicles per company. A lot of these companies, their address is an apartment, some are in a house, some are in a convenience store, some of them in a vacant building. There's no signage, there's nobody there.
And so why would there be such a need for all these transportation companies here inside of Minnesota?
So if you think of this transportation as the hub of the wheel, so childcare is a spoke, adult daycare is a spoke, autism is a spoke, the interpreter services, which we can get into, that's another spoke. It all ties back to transportation. Why? Because those meals someone had to deliver those meals, someone has to deliver the kid to autism, or say they did. So it all revolves around the transportation. And so when you're looking at this, you say, okay, well, let's just be conservative. Let's go on the low side. Let's say there are only 800 Somali-owned non-emergency medical transportation companies in Minnesota. Well, again, the average is 20 vehicles per company. So that's 800 times 20. And the way these NEMT companies are paid is if they bring someone to a doctor's appointment, whatever the case might be, or Costco or wherever they're going, because remember, it's non-emergency medical transportation. Well, we went to Costco because they have to eat or they'll die. So that's considered, right? So it's almost impossible to figure out from the outside what exactly the payments are for each of these trips, but I have a pretty good idea. So when someone provides a transportation to a facility or a location, they're also paid for the time to sit there and wait for the appointment to end and then drive the person back. So they're paid 3 different ways. And the average is going to be $50 per trip. So it's going to the appointment as a trip, coming back trip. So that's $100 per round trip. So if you have 800 companies in Minnesota that are NEMT companies, they all own 20 vehicles, and they're all making 10 trips a day, and it's $50 per trip. So it's 800 times 20 times 10 trips times $50 a trip. Do the math. And the reality is, how many of these trips are being provided? 0. They don't have to provide any. Why? Because when they are paid by the state of Minnesota, these companies go online and they fill out a form, and it just says, okay, how many trips, how many miles. They submit that electronically to the state, and boom, they get paid. Nobody bothers to check. They don't call the dentist. Did this kid show up? They don't do anything. As soon as that form is filed with the state of Minnesota, that payment goes out immediately.
And so essentially, these transportation companies are what hold all of the fraud together, because you have the daycare centers working with the transportation companies, the adult daycare centers working with the transportation companies, the healthcare companies working with the transportation companies. So it's just another way to bill and to also make it look like something's happening here inside of Minnesota.
This is the belly of the beast. All of this fraud revolves around these transportation companies. All of it. This touches every part of fraud here in Minnesota.
And today we're going to go confront these people. We confronted them last time. There was no kids in any of the child care centers. And today, what do you expect to see?
I think we're going to see some vehicles because, you know, when I drive around the cities here, I see these Somalis driving, and mostly it's like a Plymouth Caravan or whatever. And there's never, ever, ever been a passenger. And in 7 years, I've never seen a passenger in any of these vehicles. I've followed some of them. They're going to Costco, they're going to Sam's Club, they're going to Walmart. The driver gets out, goes in there, loads up a shopping cart, comes in, puts it in the van, and off they go back to where they live.
And now we're going to go out and see what's happening with these transportation companies.
And here's the other thing. Tim Walz and the Department of Human Service, you threw the people of Minnesota under the bus. Shame on you, and I'm coming for you.
You heard it here first, David. All right, let's go. So where's the first location we're going to?
The first location is a company called Safari Transportation, Cedar Avenue South in Minneapolis.
And so what makes Safari Transportation Company an interesting transportation company?
Well,
allegedly fraudulent.
Well, the thing about Safari is that they've been registered since 2015 with the state of Minnesota as operating vehicles. And again, the national average for A non-emergency medical transportation company is 20 vehicles. So if they've got 20 vehicles and they're at 607 Cedar Avenue, I have no idea where there's parking. I'm parking them because there is no parking anywhere near this office.
We've arrived to the transportation company. We're outside, and right there we have a Loving Arms adult daycare. All the windows are completely boarded out right there, and there's supposed to be a transportation company registered right here. It's 617, but it's a liquor store. Okay, so the location here is 607 and also 617. These are two transportation companies. We're on a main road right now, and this is 607, and it is not a transportation company. It's actually a money transfer, but it's registered here. 607. This does not look like Safari Transportation. Where is the transportation company?
I don't see any signs denoting that there's any transportation. It's all just looks like money wiring. But if you look at the Secretary of State's office, state of Minnesota, Safari Transportation, 607 Cedar Avenue, and it's been registered here since 2015. That was the original filing.
So let's see if we have the manager. Let's see if we can find Fod. Hello. How are you? We're looking for the transportation company.
Safari Transportation?
Looking for Safari Transportation.
No, there's no Safari Transportation here.
No Safari Transportation?
Safari Transportation,
Hey,
607 Cedar
sir,
Avenue.
We're just looking for
My cousin.
Safari Transportation.
We don't know.
So, but this is registered for Safari Transportation,
know. That's the
That's the
607.
address.
Okay, we don't know.
We're asking where Safari
There's
Transportation
no,
is.
we don't know.
Did you
Okay,
know
so the
Fuad
business is
Omar?
not here.
Don't record.
Fuad Omar?
Fuad Omar,
We don't know. This, do you see this? What is this?
money transferring.
That's it.
Okay,
Well, this
registered.
is from the state.
This is fraud taking place. This is supposed to say, this is for
Go
Safari
find out.
Transportation.
Go find out.
Yeah, we did find out. This is fraud right here.
Registered here
This is
since
registered.
2015.
2015?
Safari Transportation, state of
We don't know
Minnesota.
2015. Oh, yeah.
Well, but it's registered now. This is current, just off the state of Minnesota
I
website
said
today.
we don't know, please.
This is from today. I just printed this off today. Fuad A. Omar.
Go check it out.
We're here. This is 607. Where's Safari
607.
Transportation?
Okay, it's no Safari, period.
Okay, so it's a fraudulent
Did you-
business.
Did you see Safari anything here?
Exactly.
Did you see?
Exactly. It's
Did
not
you
here.
see it?
It's a
Did
fraud.
you see, sir? Huh?
Okay, thank you. We're going to go to the next
Okay.
address.
See?
All right, let's keep moving on. So 607, this is supposed to be Safari Transportation, no transportation company. And now we're going to 617, another transportation company. However, it is actually Cedar Riverside Liquor. Where is the transportation company?
617.
617 right
Dreamline
here.
Transportation for the state of Minnesota is registered to 617 Cedar Avenue South.
And it's a liquor store. David, they aren't even trying to hide that these
Yeah.
are transportation companies. Where are the vans at?
Should we ask?
Let's go ask.
Where are the vans at? Show us the vans.
Hey, we're looking for Dreamline Transportation.
What's that, guys?
Now we're in 617, Dreamline Transportation.
No.
Where is the transportation company?
No, we don't have this
You
one.
ever heard of Safari Transportation?
Safari, I know Safari, that many wiring, 607.
The money wiring.
Yeah.
Okay, that's money wiring.
Yeah.
Safari
We're looking for
Transportation.
Safari
Maybe there,
Transportation.
607.
They said they never heard of it.
I never. Safari company, the money wiring, they send money there. That's the 607.
So Safari gets the money and then they wire it out.
Yeah, the money.
That man just said that Safari is actually a money wiring company, so therefore they're receiving money and then wiring it somewhere underneath the name of a transportation
We
company.
said to go here.
Sweet A, right?
That's crazy. The neighbor just exposed him. The neighbor just flat out was like, yeah, 607 right there down the street. That's a wire. Holy shit, dude. They're wiring money over there. That's what it is. It's not even a transportation company. He didn't even say anything about transportation. That is so fucking funny, man. It is fraud to the highest degree, to hundreds of millions, billions of dollars between the Leering centers, the fake healthcare centers, and now these, I don't even know, these supposed to be transportation companies, but the neighbor down the street, 2 doors down, was like, yep, they're just wiring money flat out.
right here. And then you have 617A right here, but this is reliable services, immigration, travel, and tax. I do not see a transportation company anywhere.
Good morning. Hey, we're hoping to find Dreamline Transportation. You ever heard of it?
I've never heard of it. Ask next door.
He said to ask here, that you would know.
Ask next door. This is a mailbox. It's not a real call.
So, Dreamline Transportation could be nothing more than a mailbox.
They're all just throwing each other under the bus. Ask next door. Go next door. Oh, the guy at 607. Holy shit, dude. They all just throw each other under the bus, and they're all doing the same thing.
834.
So it could be one of these mailboxes. Well,
Okay, see you later.
607, Safari Transportation, doesn't exist. It's actually a money wiring business. 617, Dreamline, inside of there, it's actually a liquor store. And then 617A is a place where there's a bunch of mailboxes and it says reliable ITT services. How are you doing, man?
I just want to ask you,
Yes, sir.
why are you sensationalizing the propaganda?
What are we
to-
sensationalizing?
To attack our community. What's your final objective?
We're
Are
not
you-
attacking your
are you-
community by any means.
Are you making
We're
good money
looking-
from this?
We're looking for fraud.
No, I'm
For
not.
instance, can you answer our question? Where's Safari Transportation Company 607?
1 second.
It's not there.
How
And why
much-
don't you answer?
How much money are
Why don't you
you
answer the
how much
question?
money
Where's
are you
617
making?
Dreamline Security?
How much money are you making?
I make money off
this?
of YouTube. That's how I make my money.
Exactly. So you're making money off of sensationalizing
That my job
and attacking
is.
the Somali community.
I'm not attacking you guys. We're asking.
I'll tell you the
fraud is
reason why
fraud,
this is
sir.
happening. All right. Let me
David,
tell you the reason why
fraud
you're
is
attacking
fraud,
this.
correct?
Yes.
This has nothing to do with race. This is fraud.
This
Is fraud.
absolutely has to do with us being Muslim,
No, it does not.
all right, and us being from Africa.
And here's the victim mentality. It's just the simple fact that there's fraud, and it just happens to be taking place within these communities. That's just the fact of the matter. How do you go to 3 locations and all 3 of them claim to have a business there, and not even one van between 3 companies is there to transport people or whatever it is that they're transporting, and they're getting paid a hefty sum of money?
This is a constant.
If anything, this guy is outing his own community. Just saying. By coming out here and claiming all this. Right in front of Nick Shirley and doing this victimhood mentality shit. He's just furthering it upon his own community.
Constitutional argument. If you don't want us here, change the freedom of religion. Say, listen, we don't want Muslims in this country anymore.
We're not saying that.
No.
We're not
Because
saying that.
When I
Yeah,
go,
this is a straw man argument because Nick Shirley hasn't brought up religion, he hasn't brought up race. He's just simply trying to find these transportation companies, and that's where their argument simply falls apart. Because they're trying to build this narrative that wasn't there to begin with.
We're talking about fraud. You're talking.
When I go onto your comments,
My comments
what
aren't
I see
me.
is people that say we do not want Muslims here. Kick every single Muslim in Minnesota out of Minnesota.
That's a comment.
You are listen.
That's not what I'm saying.
You're preparing for the Somali community to.
Yeah, he's now bringing things that other people have said onto Nick Shirley as if he's saying it, but he's just simply standing there looking for the fraud. Where is the Leering Center? Where is Safari Transportation? Don't give me this shit. This victimhood mentality garbage.
Me to maybe be taken to concentration camps, just
How?
like the Japanese community. All
How?
right, you're sensationalizing.
No, we're not.
All right,
Sir,
something that
answer
can
the
listen.
question. Where
That's something
where
that can,
is the transportation
something
vehicle
that can
company?
jeopardize
Answer the question.
the safety and the protection of
This
the
is
Somali
fraud.
community.
We're talking
if
about fraud,
anything
sir.
happens to the Somali
We're talking
community,
about fraud.
Listen, I'm not doing anything. I'm not physically touching.
You're getting very close.
I'm not physically touching.
very
you.
close.
No, I'm not physically touching. you.
This is fraud.
What
We're talking
you're
about
doing,
fraud.
what you're doing,
You're
what
defending
you're doing,
fraud.
what-
You're
when I go
defending
into
fraud.
your comments,
You're defending fraud.
People who hate Muslims
Okay,
want
people
us
can-
out of here
people can say
for
what they
being
want. I'm not
Muslim
censoring
are
anybody.
using your material. Islamophobes, use your material. People who hate Islam, use your material. Say to us, we don't want you here. Change the constitution. But guess what? Let me tell you something. Guess what?
Say it. We're asking about
You know,
fraud.
we're
asking about fraud.
You hate Muslims.
I'm not saying I hate Muslims. We're talking about fraud. We're talking
Why
about
are you
fraud.
attacking us?
This
are we
is
the
fraud.
only community that suffers because of fraud?
We're talking about
Are
fraud.
we the only community that does fraud? Are we the only community that does this?
This is about
All
fraud.
right, but there's what, 300 Somali
This is
providers in
fraud.
all of Minnesota?
There's actually
I'm not-
800.
Don't touch me.
Keep talking.
Is there
Don't go close.
So,
Do you speak English?
transportation companies.
Your security doesn't even speak English. Listen,
Yeah,
let me tell you
so
something.
see, this isn't a race issue, sir.
Listen, let me
This
tell
is
you
about
something.
fraud.
We have, what, 1,000 providers?
Yeah, you guys have a...
Even
So this guy is going on crying about racism and all of that, and then he goes and says, "Oh, your security doesn't even speak English." Come on, bro. You're gonna sit there, act like a victim, and then say some shit like that? Come on.
It's 2,000 providers.
Okay,
You
sir.
want to sacrifice the safety of
Sir.
80,000 people
We're not
because of fucking 2,000 providers? Are you fucking mad? Are you stupid?
I'm not stupid, you're stupid. Where's the transportation company?
What about if a mass
Listen.
shooting happens in Minnesota? It will be because of you. It will be because of you.
Now, because of this giant freak out and outrage, more people are gonna show up trying to figure out where these transportation companies are.
If any Somali gets hurt in Minnesota, it's because of Nick fucking Shirley. If any Somali,
this is about
if
fraud.
one single Somali gets hurt,
This is about fraud,
it's because
sir.
of you. Sensationalize this. You son of a bitch. Sensationalize this.
Wow, you're
Get the
very
fuck
nice.
out of our neighborhood.
Very nice.
Get the fuck out of our
Sir,
neighborhood.
can you tell me where the
Get the
transportation
fuck out of
company
our neighborhood. We don't want you here. Get the fuck out of here.
is? Calm down, sir.
Get the fuck out of here.
Sir, this is
You want
about
to
fraud.
sensationalize? You wanted clicks?
You're
You got clicks.
sensationalizing yourself,
You
sir.
wanted clicks?
You're
You
sensationalizing
got
yourself.
Yep, he's continuing to follow him, walking towards the camera, into it, like, just walk the other way. If you didn't want any of this confrontation and to sensationalize things, just walk the other way.
You wanted clicks? You wanted the YouTube?
Tell me where the
You
transportation
wanted
vehicle
YouTube
is.
clicks? You got YouTube clicks. Now get the fuck out of our community.
Tell me where the
Get the
transportation
fuck out of our
vehicle is.
community.
Tell me where the...
You
This is
stupid,
about
racist
fraud.
motherfucker.
This is...
Say I don't want
This is
Muslims
about
here.
fraud.
Say I don't want Muslims here. Say it.
I'm
Say
not-
I want to change the constitution.
No, I don't
and
wanna
wanna
change the
freedom of
Constitution.
religion, and I don't want Muslim Somalis in Minnesota. Kick them out. I was born in this country. You have to take the passport away from me.
Relax.
That is what you are
Sir,
arguing for.
we're not talking...
Change the Constitution.
This is about fraud.
Sir, appreciate it.
Get the fuck out of our community.
This is about fraud.
Get the fuck out of our community. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Stupid fucking idiot.
Tell me where the transportation company is then.
Get the fuck out of here.
Obviously for this video we had to get security because look at this now. Alright, we're going. We're going.
You have to go from here. I'm telling you.
But there is no transportation company in there. Fraud. There were no transportation companies.
No, none.
This isn't about race. This isn't against religion. This is about fraud. We're fighting fraud here. We're not fighting a race.
Well, and this is what happens when you put a spotlight on fraud. The people who are benefiting become extremely violent, and the Somalis are the most violent people I have ever met in my whole life.
Because he couldn't answer the question. Where was the transportation company?
He wouldn't answer the question. All he did was make it about race and then issue threats.
Neither business was there or operating, and giving a very conservative estimate based off of David's numbers and other numbers online, it's fair to say each business is operating with an average of 20 vehicles and with a much lower and generous rate of $25 per trip. And with 10 alleged trips a day, each business is pulling an estimate of $1.3 million in gross revenue. And with those two locations alone, there's over $2.6 million in estimated fraud.
All right, we're going to the next location.
What's interesting, Nick, is that one of the places we just visited, the 617 Cedar Avenue South, that's for Dreamline Transportation. That's the address listed with the state of Minnesota. But the place that we're going right now is going to have vans that say Dreamline Transportation on them, but they haven't moved in months and months. You'll see they're covered with snow. There will be no tire tracks. And so why are they using this address? And all that was in there was a liquor store. And he told us to talk to the guy next door, and those were all just mailboxes. And then the guy next door said, go talk to him. I said, we just talked to him. Obviously,
That was the best part. Go next door and talk to him about the fake transportation company that's supposed to be in my building. It's just amazing. They all pointed fingers and blamed each other right away. They claim to be this strong community, but just like that, are willing to throw the next person under the bus that lives or works right next door to them.
Cover up, and you see how they all stick together, and it's all this intimidation. And thank God we had the security we did there, because that would have been bad.
Now we're outside of this transportation vehicle company right here.
Yeah, and so you can see these are the vans that say Dreamline. You can see the sticker on the window and the numbers on the rear. None of these vehicles have moved in 8 months. I've been taking date stamp photos. All these vehicles are in the exact same spot they were 8 months ago. And look, there's no tire tracks, so they haven't moved.
And this van as well, this is Dreamline. Dreamline was the location where we got chased out from the Somalis on 617 Cedar. And this is a vehicle from Dreamline that actually didn't even exist. It was a liquor store. And now it's here, and the vans haven't moved at all. Literally, no vans and no tire tracks anywhere. If these vans are being used to transport people, whether it be healthcare, childcare, there would be snow tracks. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 vehicles here. No snow tracks anywhere. These vehicles are not being used, and these transportation companies are making lots of money. Meanwhile, there's actually nothing to show for. Here's all of the vehicles right here. And the vehicles that are coming in and out, like this Toyota, it does not have anything to do with transportation company because there's no stickers on it and there's snow tracks. But the vehicles that are supposed to be used for transportation are literally...
So, I guess for the sake of a little bit of devil's advocate, yeah, you can see that. I guess you could say, when did the snow fall? Let's start with that. Right? Because you could see over here, this vehicle, I don't know if that's the one they came in. There was also another one here that had tracks leading up to it. None of the vans have tracks leading up to them. And this, where is it? The truck. Can I see that truck at the bay there? I don't know. That one's too hard to tell if it's moved. I don't know, but none of the actual vans, as you can see here, these ones, no tracks in front of them. And even the ones back here, they didn't seem to have any tracks in front of them. And if they were being used daily, yeah, there wouldn't be snow covered all over them. Now, let's say the snow fell literally the day before. Okay, maybe they didn't use the vans yet. But at the same time, to have... Christ, they have like, what, over 10 vans here at least? You think at least 1 or 2 of them would have been used, at the very minimum.
Like this Toyota, it does not have anything to do with transportation company because there's no stickers on it and there's snow tracks. But the vehicles that are supposed to be used for transportation are literally locked in. Snow is building icicles. No one's even came out to remove the snow off the window. These transportation vehicles are not moving. And then right here, David has more paperwork for Silver Mountain. And there's 3 different companies in the same address.
Yeah.
So when we talk about how all these companies are intertwined, this is a perfect example of that.
And this is why these transportation companies are so essential to the fraud in Minnesota, because they allow the fraud to be supported as a majority.
You know they're not being used when one is parked right in front of 2. And this one doesn't even have lights on it. I don't even know what's going on here. These vehicles are all sketchy as hell.
Essential to the fraud in Minnesota because they allow the fraud to be supported, as the majority of the fraud is from welfare programs like daycares, autism centers, and adult daycares, and healthcare services. They need to leave a paper trail to make it look like something is happening. Therefore, they use these transportation companies to create that paper trail by saying they are moving people from an adult daycare to a healthcare provider, for example, but they actually never provide the service at the healthcare provider. But that paper trail allows them to continue to bill the state for the money, and everyone gets paid. That's why this fraud is so deep and hard to dismantle, because quite literally everyone is involved.
And it's all because the state of Minnesota never checks.
All right, so this is actually the location for Silver Mountain Inc., LLC, and Co. Let's see if any... Yes, we're wondering where Silver Mountain.
Silver Mountain?
Silver Mountain.
Oh, I don't know that. Where it is.
It says 2722 Park Avenue.
All of you, get out of here.
Where
Is
is
Silver Mountain here?
Silver Mountain. You don't have a permission to do that.
Okay,
You
so
were
Silver
ju-
Mountain does not exist.
You were
No, the name,
doing.
the
I don't
name's
give a
not,
shit.
the name's
I
not
don't-
Silver
don't-
Mountain, it's just Silver Mountain
Don't
Home
ask me
Healthcare.
that. When you come.
All right,
So
sir.
Silver
Well,
Mountain-
so
It's
Silver.
another way.
So
that's
Silver
the
Mountain
way
does
to
not
make a
exist.
business. You're making a
2722
business.
Park
You have
Avenue.
millions of people watching you.
Silver
You're making
Mountain.
business to
Okay,
certain
sir.
people.
2720.
You have millions of people watching right
Yes.
now. Where is Silver Mountain
I don't
Home
know where
Healthcare?
Silver Mountain is.
Okay, well that's what we're
But
looking for. All right, we're
me
moving on.
sitting there-
So Silver Mountain does not exist. David, we're just simply asking for where is Silver Mountain Home
Can't
Healthcare?
find any of these companies. I mean, this is shocking. 3 companies are supposed to be in that building, and he's never heard of them. He doesn't know anything about them.
And look, so they don't exist there. Right there, Somali Senior Center and Adult Day Services, a daycare right there. All these welfare companies are in the same location, but their businesses, that business didn't even exist.
It's all fraud, all of it.
So right there is a transportation company, no passenger, just a driver. How come you think when it comes time
Man, what the hell is going on in Minnesota? Every other building is a daycare center, a leering center, a senior, or a whatever, healthcare. It's like, holy shit, dude. Every single one.
to take accountability for what's happening, or just to answer simple questions about the fraud they can't answer?
Well, I think their reaction tells you all you need to know. The reaction is so violent that if there was no fraud going on, they would say, what are you talking about? They would have a civil conversation, but they can't because they know we're shining the light on the fraud and they have no defense. So in their mind, being loud and using profanity is their only defense.
Because I'm trying to give them the opportunity to say, where are the transportation companies? Where are the daycare? Where are the children? Where are the companies now? Yet they can't answer.
And to this point, Nick, the transportation companies we've been to, we haven't seen a single vehicle at any of them. In fact, some of them don't even exist. We can't even find them. We're going to the addresses that are listed on the Secretary of State's website as their business address.
This is a massive parking lot here. We're gonna go ask them where their vehicles are. They should not have any excuse as to why they don't have their vehicles here, other than if they are out driving right now. And what's the story behind this business?
Well, this business is new as of March of 2024. It's Muhammad Malim is the registered agent for 713 Minnehaha Avenue East.
Me and David headed into this building, however, the owner was not there. We're here at the suite of Epimonnia Transport LLC. There's actually not even a sign here. And anyone here, it looks like there's a guy over here. Let's see if we can talk to him really quick. Do you know about Epimonnia Transport here?
So there was a transportation company here in 305 for a long time, even before I joined the building a few years ago. He's never really here. I've seen the office a couple times. There's barely anything in there but a couch. And then I see him maybe twice a month at IF, so.
And there's no transport vehicles outside. Massive parking lot, but no transport.
I've never seen one. I've been here for 3 years and I'm always here. I'm a workaholic. I'm just nonstop here, so I know everybody in the building, and this specific space here is probably the most sketchy out of any other business here. Everyone else is here, they're friendlier. He just pops in and out.
For instance, this guy Muhammad, he should have his business in 308. There should be transportation vehicles outside. There's nothing.
That's weird that you say 308 because he's always been in 305 for the last 3 years.
Wow, so he's even lying on his public records with the government.
I would assume if he was to make and doing fraud, it makes sense to switch it up and throw people off track. It would be the first thing somebody would do, I would think.
So since the fraud has started to be exposed, Muhammad has left the scene, and that guy just said, he confirmed that there has never even been transportation vehicles outside. So Muhammad has completely left the scene. He's nowhere to be found, and This parking lot, massive parking lot, actually never even had any transport vehicles according to the guy who lived or had his office next to Muhammad. How quick do you think the fraud would dry out here in Minnesota if they were to cut out the transportation side of the fraud?
I think it would have a massive effect, and that the signal that that would send would let people know the party's over.
Because if me and you were to go to the doctor, we'd either have to find a family member, drive ourselves, or pay for an Uber. How come they even have this set up?
Yeah, I tried to arrange a ride with one of these Somali transportation companies. They said they were all full. So now we're at 2833 13th Avenue South in Minneapolis, and there's supposed to be a non-emergency medical transportation company here called Advance Mobility Incorporated. And what's interesting about this company is that state records show that it first registered with the state of Minnesota in 1999.
And they have been in business for over 26 years.
Yes, correct.
And
So
we're gonna go inside.
they must have a lot of vehicles.
So this is Advanced Mobility 2833, boarded up. All these windows are covered right here. We're gonna see if we can go inside. There's a bunch of shops in here. We have money transferring shop. We got clothes in here. There's a coffee shop. Let's see if Advanced Mobility is in here. We got spices. Is Advanced Mobility here?
Do you know 224?
I don't think you guys are allowed to record it.
Do you know where Advanced Mobility is?
Suite 224.
She's recording over there, so. Suite 224. Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is? Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is?
Advanced mobility?
Yeah, we're looking for it. Never heard of it?
What is this? What is that?
Oh, my name is Nick Shirley. We're just looking for Advanced Mobility.
Hey,
Where's Advanced Mobility at?
we don't care about advanced mobility.
That's what we're asking for. All right, we're looking for Advanced Mobility. Nobody can help us right now. We got a whole group of people trying to get us out of here. We're looking for Advanced Mobility.
We don't care about advanced mobility.
Advanced Mobility doesn't exist.
Get out. You need to get out. You need to get out. Get out.
Now they're pushing us out of here.
Get out.
Where's Advanced Mobility
We
at?
don't care about advanced mobility.
That's what we're asking for.
Get out. Get out.
Would you like to give a statement on where Advanced Mobility is?
No, go ahead. Get out. We don't care.
So Advanced Mobility is not anywhere here. We're leaving, sir. Would you like to give a statement on what's happening here in Minnesota?
You make stuff up. This is a
from the
lie.
state of
I don't care.
Minnesota.
Who do you work for? Who do you work for? No, who do you work for?
Nick Shirley.
Who do you work
This
for?
is Nick Shirley,
I
sir.
don't care about Nick Shirley. That's you.
Yes, sir.
But who do you work for?
For Nick Shirley.
I don't care about Nick Shirley.
That's who he's working for today, Nick Shirley.
This is from the
We
state
don't
of
care. We don't care
Minnesota.
about that. Get out of here.
Stop here.
And see, you guys say I can't film, but look at you guys filming.
Yeah, this is wild. Like, this is wild. Okay, like it's pretty obvious there's fraud going on here. They don't even know about the business. Very aggressive.
You can do that. You can film here.
Pay from the
Advanced Mobility doesn't exist.
Well, so what was interesting was we walked in there, and on the state's website, it says it's in Suite 224, but it's a one-story building. None of the suites had the number 2 on them. It doesn't exist. And it's been registered since 1999, and it doesn't exist.
All right, next location. David, where are we at?
We're at what's called Ray's, R-A-Y-Z Transportation, LLC.
And this is Ray's Transportation. We're on a street. There's no parking lot for any transportation vehicles. We'll see what happens. This is the address for Ray's Transportation. Let's see if anybody is here. Is Ray's Transportation here, sir?
I don't know. Transportation place. There's no transportation places here.
Oh, okay.
It's
Well,
all
It's just Ray's,
healthcare places.
R-A-Y-Z.
well, I think it's confirmed they're not here, David. So it's confirmed that Ray Transportation, all of these transportation
The
companies.
security guard was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Honestly, the problem with the security guards are they won't know fully what's in there. I mean, they probably should, but if they're switching out from location to location, they're not going to be like 100% on what is inside there. They're just going to man the door, deal with whatever they need to. But once again, though, he looked confused. He was like, no, there's no transfer, just healthcare stuff, which is funny because obviously all of the healthcare fraud going on there as well. There's just a bunch of healthcare stuff going on in there. Ah, okay, sure. Sure, it's just healthcare.
They're kind of like ghost companies. They exist on paper, but they don't actually exist in person. Would you like to see anybody in the government here held accountable?
Most definitely, because there can definitely be an allocation of funds.
And what's your message to Tim Walz?
Make a change, because there's definitely, even when it comes down to like the kids and stuff, there's definitely stuff that like we need spaces for the things that are going on that they're not doing. We need these type of spaces for it. Now this is some crazy stuff, but I'm glad that you bringing light to it. It is a crazy, interesting situation.
Hey, what's up? What you got going on, man? Hey. You keep that false narrative that you be going on. It's some nonsense.
You should get in your car because
you should not be doing that, right? You are creating misinformation. This is not fair. It's not fair for the American people to be doing that. It's not fair. It's not fair what you mean. You cannot be doing that. You're not being fair.
How?
This country is built on fairness. You're not being fair.
Yeah,
you cannot come into the community and be doing that.
So we shouldn't allow fraud to be happening, right?
Let the...
This new wave of I am deserving of everything and I am owed everything is quite wild. Because, no, the country was never fair. It's a merit-based country. There's nothing really fair about it. It's about working hard and getting somewhere. Once again, though, it's like the whole victimhood mentality thing. And then this idiot has jumped out of his car in the middle of an intersection. Like they just don't respect anything.
Let the legal system do its job.
Well, it's failed.
We got a governor. We got an attorney general. Let them do the job.
A governor who's resigning and not running again because of how bad things have become.
You're not in a position to do the job. You're not a prosecutor. If you want to run for office, go ahead, run for office. But you cannot be doing this. This is misinformation. This is the information.
How is it misinformation, sir? It's from the
This is what you're doing.
state
you're
of Minnesota.
You're coming everywhere. Where you coming from?
You see what I mean? We're talking about the facts that's happening here.
You can't. It's Southside. It's my turf. Get it.
Sir, we were just having a civil conversation. That guy hopped out of his car in the middle of the road. In the middle of the road about the fraud that's happening. And he's saying that I'm the bad guy for showing light of what's happening here.
They're passionate. They're passionate people. They don't want this type of stuff either going on or be brought to light. So that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna it's a very tight knit community.
You saw it firsthand how crazy it gets out here. He hopped out in the middle of the intersection.
I'll say.
So this isn't about race. You're a black guy. They're black, right? We don't have no ill feelings towards you. By any means. We're talking about the fraud that's happening. So God bless you, sir, and thank you very much. Why are we doing this?
So we're doing this, A, because it's the right thing to do. The people of Minnesota and the people of America want this done. Fraud is fraud. And when we try and talk with these people and say, look, the main reason we're doing this is to find out why are all these checks being written by the state of Minnesota for companies that don't even exist. That's what we're trying to figure out. It's not a race issue, it's a fraud issue, and fraud is fraud.
And so what most people don't understand about this fraud is it is literally in the entire state of Minnesota. It's not just in one part of Minneapolis.
Right, and so I think what happens...
And you gotta think of how many other states as well. Like, if they're doing it there, then how many other Democrat states are following suit with this sort of thing?
Is the people in the suburbs of Minneapolis and St. Paul, they get lulled into a false sense of security because they say, oh, that's in Minneapolis, it doesn't affect us, or that's in St. Paul. And we're showing that this fraud spreads throughout the entire state of Minnesota, including all of the suburbs. And we're going to bring to light exactly what's going on in those respective suburbs.
And so what's happening in this suburb of St. Louis Park?
Well, this is one of the Somali NEMT, non-emergency medical transportation companies that's registered with the...
Yo, what's up, Spider-Man? I don't know if you've seen this new Nick Shirley video. It's been out for about a day or two now. It's been a wild one. It's been a very fucking crazy one so far.
State of Minnesota in St. Louis Park, and so let's see if this one actually exists.
This is the location of Crescent Transportation. We have no vans outside right now. Does not look like any vans are outside. Let's go inside, see if Crescent Transportation exists. Here we are, and it's an apartment complex. There's no signage of any Crescent Transportation Company. Once again, another fraudulent business where they don't even have a storefront to show where they're at. This is an apartment complex. So this is an apartment complex right here?
Yeah.
And have you ever seen Crescent Transportation out here?
Nope.
And what do you think about the fraud taking place here in Minnesota?
Huh? I'm a taxpayer. I don't like it.
What's your message to all the fraudsters?
Huh? Prosecute their ass. Take them to jail.
And how do you feel knowing that, for instance, right here, a transportation company that receives money from the government is not even here? It's the apartment complex.
I just said, I don't like it. I'm a taxpayer. I work hard for my money. People out here fraud, they still go to jail.
And should Tim Walz go to jail?
Oh, he cricket too, huh? All them cricket, all the politicians. My daddy ain't never liked none of them.
So that man right there just confirmed that this is an apartment complex.
Right, and so the cities have specific...
Seen Crescent Transportation out here?
Nope.
And what do you think about the fraud taking place here in Minnesota?
Huh? I'm a taxpayer. I don't like it.
What's your message to all the fraudsters?
Huh? Prosecute their ass. Take them to jail.
And how do you feel knowing that, for instance, right here, a transportation company that receives money from the government is not even here? It's the apartment complex.
I just said, I don't like it. I'm a taxpayer. I work hard for my money. People out here fraud, they still go to jail.
And should Tim Walz go to jail?
Oh, he cricket too, huh? All them cricket, all the politicians. My daddy ain't never liked none of them.
So that man right there just confirmed that this is an apartment complex.
Right, and so...
Oh, that guy's a legend. Yeah, Carney just sold out pretty much all of Canada with one single move. The most important sector, other than like steel and metal and all that, our oil and gas sector was just like, here you go, China. Do with it what you want. Invest away. Open the floodgates to a communist dictatorship. God, he's actually worse than Trudeau in every way, shape, and form. And honestly, I didn't think that was a possibility. But Carney is... God, he is the worst. Like, actually the worst.
Cities have specific rules governing operating businesses.
And like, my fucking God, man. Well, we'll get into it because we got a Moose on the Loose video to do. But it's like, we're giving billions and billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine to rebuild, to fight, to do all this shit. Obviously, I don't want our money going there, but he's doing it anyway. And then on the other hand, he goes to China, strikes a deal with them, allows them to invest and do whatever the hell they want, essentially, in our oil and gas sector. And China is direct allies with Russia. He's fighting both sides of the war here. I don't understand this mindset. We're gonna continue to back Ukraine with billions and like just so much money and weaponry and all of this stuff, and then we're gonna sign a deal with China, and their closest ally is Russia, who they trade with all the time. And I know we trade with China as a country, but not to this extent. This has opened the floodgates completely. It's not just trade at this point, it's full-out investment. Like, large amounts of investment.
Out of apartments, they do not allow transportation companies to park vehicles in an apartment parking lot. None of the cities in the Twin Cities allow that.
Because even if you were to be running a transportation company out of your apartment, there's nowhere to park the cars.
Well, where are they? There aren't any. Crescent, I don't see anything with Crescent on it anywhere.
More fraud taking place here.
So this is called Hopkins Child Care Center. This facility is licensed to hold 118 children. So this should be a really big facility. And this year alone, they have received $2.25 million from the state of Minnesota. And last year, they received $1.92 million from the state of Minnesota. And this facility, in the past 5 years, has been in the top 10 for the most money received from the state of Minnesota.
So there should be plenty of children. There should be footprints of children walking in and out.
This should be a very busy place, yes.
So this right here is Hopkins Child Care Center. They're receiving over $2 million a year. All of the windows are completely blacked out. You can't even get in. And for a place that's supposed to have over 100 children, there's no footprints anywhere going into this door. And it's locked, midday right now. This is the back side of the daycare, ringing the doorbell right now. See if anybody comes. Hello, sir, how are you doing? How are you doing? Yes, sir.
Get out.
Okay, listen.
Get out. This is our business.
Hear each other, okay?
Yes,
What are you
sir.
looking for?
We don't care what you do on the
We're-
parking lot.
Go this side.
Yeah.
This
Otherwise, we'll call the
This
cops.
private.
I can be here in the
No,
parking lot.
no. You don't be here.
Wait,
What are
can
you
we
looking
ask you
for?
about the daycare? It's
What
all
are
right.
you looking
It's all
for?
right. Can we ask you about the
What are you looking
daycare?
Don't care about anything.
No. I don't care, Ken.
Sir, I'm not
You
racist.
have to leave here.
I'm asking
No. You don't ask me nothing. man.
$2.25 million.
Get out, you guys. Get out. This is
$2.5
private.
million.
Get out.
This is our business.
Get out.
Here we go. Another guy with most likely very expensive frames on. That is going to be picked up very quickly.
Hey, get out. What are you looking for?
We're asking. We just want to
Get out.
We just want to ask you about $2.25 million.
Get out.
You say
Get out.
of here, man.
Get out, guys. Get out.
You cannot do that.
Get out. No, you cannot. You cannot do that.
Where?
Get out.
This is.
Get out. Man. No. Get lost. Get out. No.
Sir.
You have to get out. This is our property. Get out.
Why?
Get out.
Can I ask you about the daycare? I have the paperwork right here.
No. Get out.
What's the need
Get
for
out.
$2.25 million for a
I'm telling
daycare?
you, get out. Get
Can
out.
you answer the question?
Get out. No, I don't ask you any question. You guys,
can't.
get out.
You can't answer the
Get
question.
out. No. Who are you?
My name's Nick
Who are you?
Shirley.
No, I don't give a shit. Get out.
Could
Get out.
you
These seem like very friendly people that you want to be handling children. Holy Christ. Could you imagine? Like, this is supposed to be a daycare center. And these are the people that are running it. Look at the sign. Look at this sign, dude. They drew it, probably brought it to like some arts and crafts place and blew it up into a larger frame or a larger picture. Holy Christ, man. What is going on here? Minnesota is an absolute disaster. Every facet of it. Just, I would hate to live there. I mean, things aren't that much better here in Canada, let's be real, but at least we don't have that going on. You know what? Maybe we do. We probably do, now that I think of it, and it's probably way worse. Look, we're getting into a Moose on the Loose video now, and then I'm going to call it a stream. That Nick Shirley video, he's waking up some demons with that one.
So I'm not happy with this, I got to tell you.
Carney is getting grilled from Japan. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today we've got Japanese media criticizing Mark Carney's approach to dealing with Xi Jinping in China. It's all very embarrassing. You got a panel on CTV. You got some other stuff. Let's jump into this one here. 2 in 5 Canadians, 41% report being $200 or less away from financial insolvency each month. This is life in Canada now. We got this one from the Japan Times. Japan is not impressed with Mark Carney. Canada undermines its own China engagement. Prime Minister Carney's Tokyo and Seoul flyover sends all the wrong messages. Says here, the art of diplomacy with rising powers demands more than goodwill. It requires...
Yeah, actually, you're right. He did just post a new one 30 minutes ago. We might as well watch that one instead.
We're going to move to the next question right after that.
He just laughed in a reporter's face when he asked to follow up on human rights violations. Carney has finally made his first deal. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today we got a press conference. Mark Carney asking some questions, gets a little spicy. Most of it addressing his trade deal he just made with China. This trade deal, spoiler alert, it's not that good. I just want to point out one quick thing. There's translation when Mark Carney or Xi Jinping's talking, and I cut out the spaces in between the translation to save you guys time, because otherwise it would sound like that. It's really obnoxious. That's why there's so many cuts. Where the pauses are important, I leave them in. Let's jump into this. Here it is, Mark Carney meeting Xi Jinping. Look how happy he is. He's in his happy place. There it is. Something I want to point out too. This is the first time Xi Jinping has met Mark Carney on this trip. Obviously, Carney's met him before multiple times, but Xi Jinping didn't even come out to greet Mark Carney at the airport. If Trump was there, as soon as Trump stepped off Air Force One, Xi Jinping would be right there on the tarmac. But Mark Carney, no. Xi Jinping sends a few of his goons out.
That's because Mark Carney is irrelevant. Nobody cares about this fool. I'm actually surprised they were even able to sign anything. And it probably benefits China tenfold over what we got. Like, the fact that they removed the tariffs on EVs, it's just going to decimate the auto industry, which is already in shambles. This man is the worst. And now, like I've said, China has all the doors open to invest in LNG, the oil sands. They're just going to take over everything.
Out there, and Carney meets him on the third day of the trip.
Let's begin the meeting. Prime Minister Carney, welcome to China. And I welcome this great ministerial delegation. I am very pleased to meet you again.
He said it himself, meet him again.
Last October we met in Gyeongju, the Republic of Korea. It was a very good meeting. That meeting, I believe, marked a turnaround in the China-Canada relations and placed it on an upward trajectory. I am ready to continue working with you with a sense of responsibility for the history, for the people, and for the world.
Thank you, President Xi, for your hospitality, for the warm welcome.
Look at them. They're all so nervous. Like the stress on their faces here. Don't say the wrong word or we're going to end up in the Uyghur re-education camps. What is this bonehead doing here?
And for the opportunity that our partnership brings to both our peoples, and I would suggest as well to the world.
We're not going to listen to his full speech. It's full of a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but listen to this, taking a jab at Donald Trump, contradicting the very reason he got elected.
And this is a relationship that has been distant and uncertain for nearly a decade.
So he's talking about China here, and he's remending this.
That has held back investment, it's stalled business growth, and cost Canadian workers good opportunities. It has had the consequence of leaving us even more dependent on our largest trading partner. That's why immediately after the election, Canada's new government began...
Bro, like, Canadian reporters literally said to Jolie and Hodgson, was it Hodgson? Yeah, I think that's who it was. The ministers, they're all just idiots. But a reporter said right to their faces, they had to use burner phones while they were there in China, following Carney around because they could be spied on. And here we are now today, Carney signs a fucking deal with them. Out of everything that's come out over the past 10 years with China and Canada, and you sign this deal with them. He is single-handedly going to destroy this country. Trudeau set up the tee with the ball, and Mark Carney was just waiting with the driver, and now he's just fucking smacked it full force. And it's game over. Like, dude, doing a deal with China to this degree, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. This is going to come back tenfold in one way or another.
And to recalibrate our relationship with China.
Wait a second. I thought you were elected to get a deal with Donald Trump, but instead he, immediately after being elected, he's recalibrating with China? He's giving up his hand here. He wanted to bring us closer to China, to bring their surveillance into our country from day one. He never wanted to get a deal with Donald Trump, and he isn't going to get one with Donald Trump.
President Xi and I are announcing that Canada and China are forging a new strategic partnership. It will focus on 5 key areas where both our nations stand to make substantial and sustained gains. The first is in clean energy and climate competitiveness.
Just notice, this is the first thing he mentions, clean energy and climate competitiveness. That's the number one thing that comes out of his mouth. We can see where this is going.
Areas where Canada and China have immense strengths and complementary strengths. Second, we're expanding trade, particularly in agriculture and food, where Canada is a reliable partner. Fourth, We're deepening engagement in public safety and security to protect our peoples. And finally, people-to-people ties and culture are being enhanced to enrich our lives.
What you'll notice from this and what he announced doesn't line up. So the first thing he said is the C word competitiveness, net zero. They've come out and already said it. Tim Hodgson said it. They all said it. They're working together with China on net zero. But out of this agreement, you don't see much about net zero. He basically just alludes that China's going to invest more in our energy sector. Now let's look at what the deal really is. It's not very good for Canada. We've got China will be able to sell 49,000 Chinese electric vehicles in the Canadian market with a most favored nation tariff rate of 6.1%, which represents 3% of our total autos sold every year. And this will potentially raise to 70,000 Chinese EVs per year over 5 years. On top of that, it says there'll be new Chinese joint venture investment in Canada with trusted partners to protect and create new auto manufacturing careers for Canadian workers and ensure robust build out of Canada's EV supply chain. With this agreement is it also anticipated that in 5 years, more than 50% of these vehicles will be affordable EVs with an import price less than $35,000 a year, creating new low-cost options for Canadian consumers. He basically says like China can come into Ontario and build Chinese EVs, exactly what Doug Ford wanted. Now, as for tariffs, the reason Scott Moe's there, canola seed is dropping down to a tariff rate of 15%, down from 85%. Canola meal, lobster, crabs, and peas will not be subject to relevant anti-discrimination tariffs, as in dropping to zero. And it says Canada expects that. He even says that in his press conference. They expect this to be signed. This is not signed. He's trusting that this will just go through with Xi Jinping, which is ridiculous to come out with a press conference and state this when this is not inked. And what's missing from this? Well, we have canola seed, canola meal, canola oil still has 100% tariff. There's no reduction whatsoever. That's basically it. He says China will be investing in Canadian energy, clean energy, but essentially that's the deal. It's not all that great for Canada, and really this just seems to be opening the door for China to dump more money into our country and get their tentacles in our society.
And that's exactly what I was saying. Oh boy, it's gonna be a interesting next few years, that's for sure. And people are going, and the mainstream media is going to push this as the greatest deal of all time. They're going to push this as Mark Carney has strengthened Canada by diversifying its markets with the second most powerful country, blah, blah, blah. It's all of this, that, and the fourth. Dude, the mainstream media is going to run with this shit for the next week and a half. Analysts are going to bring it up whenever they can. Oh, we weren't able to deal with Trump, so we went to China. It's the greatest thing of all time. It's getting rid of our dependency on the USA. Like, I can't, dude. This shit is so utterly trash. It just is. Every aspect of it is garbage. We ran away from our closest ally to a literal communist dictatorship. I don't understand the thought process. Orange Man bad. But Xi Jinping, oh, he's good. Let's go deal with him. Are you for real? Holy Christ.
More, which they should not be. We should just be selling them stuff. They shouldn't be owning stuff in our country.
We're leveraging our strengths in energy, clean tech, and climate competitiveness. Canada is an energy superpower in both conventional and clean energies. We have an over 80% clean electricity grid with vast potential to power the clean economy of the future.
He just said the word clean 4 times in what, 2 sentences? It tells you where his priorities are. China is the worst polluter on Earth. They're opening up more coal-fired power plants than any other country on Earth. And yes, they do have a lot of clean tech because they don't have access to a lot of oil. So they have to do that. Otherwise, they're dependent on countries like Saudi Arabia, Russia, Venezuela. That's why. They're not a net zero country. They're far from it. They're the furthest from net zero.
China's strengths in electric vehicle sector are undeniable. China produces some of the most affordable and efficient energy efficient vehicles in the world. And in order for Canada to build our own competitive EV sector, we need to learn from innovative partners, access their supply chains, and increase local demand. And to help deliver the full potential
you hear that? And increase local demand. He's going to be forcing this down our throats. I think he's bringing back the EV mandate, and he's allowing China to come in to our country and build the...
You think? Oh my god, absolutely he's going to. If they have this deal with China, they're just going to... The auto sector's done here. It is absolutely cooked. They're going to dump garbage EVs into this country from China, and yeah, he's going to bring back the net zero thing. He's going to continue to push that. It hasn't gone away. I don't know, man. We're cooked.
We've already tried this. It's already bankrupt us. Canadian taxpayers have lost tens of billions of dollars because of Liberals in this nonsense.
Canada has agreed to allow up to 49,000 Chinese electric vehicles into the Canadian market. To return under an agreement that promises much more for Canadians.
Yeah, like a pissed off Donald Trump in America, our biggest trading partner. This is going to hurt us badly. He's going to make us pay for this.
It's expected that within 3 years, this agreement will drive considerable Chinese investment in Canada's auto sector, creating good careers in Canada and accelerating our progress towards a net zero future and the auto industry of the future.
There it is. He doesn't care about building prosperity in our country. It's all net zero because he's invested in it. There's got to be some point where Canadians wake up.
Canada intends to double our energy grid through major investments in hydro, nuclear, solar, and wind power. That creates
all things that Brookfield's invested in, all things he's invested in. And some of those things we should be investing in, but he shouldn't be profiting off of it directly. He should have all of his shares sold by the blind trustee. He can be exempt from capital gains tax and reinvested without his knowledge. This is so corrupt what's going on here.
Tremendous opportunities for Chinese partnerships in these investments, including in energy storage and offshore wind.
You just notice energy storage. And who did he just go visit? As I pointed out in the previous video, Cattle, one that Brookfield is doing business with. Brookfield owns Oak Tree Capital. They have $1 billion investment in Hardtree. Hardtree doing business with Cattle, one of the largest battery manufacturers in the world, 38% of market share. This is what he's talking about. That's why he went there. This is a direct conflict of interest because he has financial interest in this. This should be against the law. And if you didn't see the video, this company has been blacklisted by the Joe Biden government to sell these batteries in America by October 2027.
On the other hand, Canada is developing our oil and natural gas reserves, one of the world's largest, to be the lowest risk, lowest cost, lowest carbon.
It is not going to be the lowest cost. You can't make it this low carbon utopia and have it be low cost as well. It's going to be high cost, low carbon. That's what it's really going to be. So is China going to be investing in oil pipelines too?
Last June, we exported our first LNG shipment to Asia.
Oh, there it is. It's not going to be oil. It's going to be LNG. And of course, it's going to be tied in with coastal First Nations who are tied in with carbon credits, an activist group funded by leftist American billionaires. So there's a couple other partnerships here, whether it's with tourism, which is just a way to push propaganda into our country, as well as law enforcement, which is an absolute joke.
Through this pillar, our law enforcement agencies will increase cooperation to better combat narcotics trafficking, transnational crime, cybercrime, synthetic drugs, and money laundering.
I'm sure if we had a live view of Sam Cooper watching this, he'd be probably laughing at that statement, considering he just posted, the money flows to the top when it comes to everything he just named there. The Chinese government knows full well what's going on with that stuff. And yet we're going to have a strategic partnership to open up our police forces to China. So jumping over to the press conference here, they asked a few good questions. Carney gets pretty snappy when he gets asked on human rights. He doesn't like that question.
Do you intend to explain it to the U.S. In allowing that entry? And separately, how do you intend to explain it to Canadian car makers who fear any softening on Chinese EVs?
Okay, so you mean the auto portion of the broader partner? Yes, okay. So I think the first thing to say is exactly that it's part of a broader partnership. And the fundamental issue is we have a broader strategic partnership on which to build and create big opportunity. But to get to the auto question and your
You can see he just deflected. She asked about the relationship with America and he made it about cars immediately, so he didn't have to talk about that.
49,000 vehicles. That's a return to levels last seen in 2023. That's less than 3% of the size of the Canadian auto market.
Who's going to want to buy those? You won't be able to drive to America in those. So unless you're never going to go to America ever again, so maybe some leftists will buy those. And where are they even going to sell those things? Are they going to open up a BYD or whatever Chinese dealerships around Canada?
There's huge opportunity here to get more affordable cars in the electric vehicle market for Canada. The fourth element...
That's not what Canadians want, though. We don't want these electric vehicles. There's already more than enough for Canadians who want to buy them. If they want to buy them, go buy them. We don't need more of these. Canadians need vehicles that work in the winter in -30.
The beginning of discussions and expectation of Chinese investment in Canada and partnership in Canada to produce vehicles over time. So to partner with Canadians.
Now he does eventually address America,
which is vis-a-vis the U.S. I think we need to look at this in the context of building. I mean, we're building a new part of our car industry. building cars of the future in partnership.
He doesn't even know what he's saying. He's just making shit up now. Like, that's what it really is.
Cars coming from a country that America absolutely has banned and wants nothing to do with?
Bringing affordable autos for Canadians at a time when affordability is top of mind, and doing it at a scale that allows for a smooth transition in the sector. Thanks.
This is not going to be a smooth transition. The next question here, I don't like how his face reacts when he's asked this question about election interference.
CSIS has called China an enduring threat to Canadian tech and democracy, and some in the auto sector have said that Chinese EVs could pose a national security risk if allowed into Canada. And your plan is to increase the number of those EVs that are coming into Canada every year. Did you get any assurances from President Xi that China would stay out of elections, for example, and sensitive sectors before allowing more Chinese investment in many sectors, including the auto sector?
So
before he answers that, look at his mouth there when she said election interference. And also you'll notice he's fidgeting, he's moving around, he's looking down and stuff when mentioning foreign interference and all this stuff. Watch the corner of his mouth here when she says election interference. What this is a micro expression. We all have these. We are reacting to something, and then when we realize we're reacting to it, we pull it back to not show what our true reaction is. Say in a situation where someone says, "What do you think of my dress?" And you're like, yeah, it looks great, but really you don't like the dress or whatever it may be. It's the same situation.
Did you get any assurances from President Xi that China would stay out of elections, for example, and sensitive sectors before allowing more Chinese?
You can see right there, he starts to smile and then he pulls it back.
And sensitive sectors before allowing more Chinese investment.
I don't like what I'm seeing.
The first is, and I'm going to refer to something I said a few minutes ago, which is we're returning to the levels of Chinese automobiles as a cap that we had 2 years ago. Okay. Secondly, just to reinforce, that's less than 3% of the Canadian auto sector. So again, let's keep that in keep it in perspective.
But that's going up by 6.5% every year after.
Yeah. But you bring that you compound that growth, and you're getting to about 70,000 vehicles at year 5. Although the agreement has it reviewed after year 3. So again, it's still in low single-digit proportion of the size of the Canadian auto sector. Canadians buy about 1.8 million autos a year, just to put it in context. The second thing, but you asked, you had autos mentioned, but then you asked, if I may, a deeper question around our relations, and as you said, foreign interference, transnational aspects. The first thing I'd say is that part of the agreement includes a security aspect, a greater cooperation between law enforcement on a series of cross-border crime issues. That's the kind of progress we need in order to address a range of issues, including...
No, we don't. We don't need that kind of progress. I don't trust this guy at all.
...illicit narcotics, but as well as interference. And then the second is...
Yeah, just glazed right over that interference because it worked in his favor that Xi Jinping was campaigning for him during the last election.
That we have an understanding. These are some of the issues that we discuss in terms of our expectations in Canada, our red lines in terms of preventing foreign interference, not tolerating foreign interference, and addressing it when we see it. And as Prime Minister, I've always taken this extremely seriously, just from the point when I got...
Oh, yeah, you really did with Paul Chang, didn't you?
my security clearance well before I was elected leader of the Liberal Party. Thank you.
Oh, of course. Taking a jab at Pierre Poilievre. This guy's unbelievable. So we got a journalist here asking him, what is the New World Order?
Hey, Prime Minister Brian Platt with Bloomberg News. Yesterday, when you met with Premier Lee, one of the things you said in the public remarks was this partnership with Canada and China, this new partnership, sets us up well for the New World Order. What did you mean by that? What is the New World Order?
Well, it's a great question, Brian, because I think the world is still determining what that order is going to be. And let's be clear what we're talking about first and foremost, which is what is going to govern global trade? What is the role of the WTO going to be? How important are bilateral deals such as the one we're developing, plurilateral deals, if I can use that term, Trans-Pacific Partnership, the potential linkages between transportation.
This guy just goes on to word salad.
And the EU. Where is financial regulation, payment system regulation going to fit into that? All of these
payment regulation system. I wonder who has that. If I were a betting man, I would think the payment regulation system he's talking about is none other than Stripe, the one that created the Frontier program, which created the carbon credit system, the very same Stripe that Mark Carney has listed as one of his self-administered holdings in his RRSP right there. Could it be that? The gig is up, Carney. We know exactly what you're doing.
I mean, use fancy words like the architecture, the multilateral system that has been developing these is being eroded, to use a polite term, undercut, use another term. So the question is, what gets built in that place? How much of a patchwork is it? How much is it just on a bilateral basis? Or where do like-minded countries in certain areas? So like-minded countries, just to be clear, doesn't mean you agree on everything. Aspects, for example, on digital trade or agricultural trade. Climate finance as another area.
Of course it's climate finance, because that's exactly who he is. That's his company, G-Fans.
To move into areas of geostrategy, geosecurity, you will have different coalitions that are formed.
So next up, we got a question here on human rights. Carney doesn't like this question. No, he doesn't.
I know that you're talking about China offering stability. There are still, of course, though, concerns in this country about human rights,
yes,
about freedom of expression. I'm wondering where those fit into your calculations. Are these things that Canada just can't afford to think about because we've got to diversify our markets?
No, we fundamentally stand up for human rights. We stand up for democracy, territorial integrity, rights to self-determination. We take the world as it is, not as we wish it to be.
That's an awful thing to say. We take the world for what it is and not what we wish it to be. I think Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives are going to take that clip and then they're going to contradict it with one of Pierre Poilievre saying, you don't have to live like this anymore. It wasn't like this before the Liberals were in power and it won't be once they're gone. This guy basically wants to try to make Canadians feel like we can't go back to how good it was before. You have to live in today's reality. This is a message trying to take hope away from Canadians. Listen to that again.
We take the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. That means the following. We do engage with countries. We calibrate that engagement depending on our values and our interests, so that engagement is more narrow when there are those issues. We also have, if you will, a sort of value-based realism to the approach. In other words, we will engage on those issues. We'll engage with coalitions on those issues because that has more influence. And we will form coalitions with those countries with which we share those broader values.
He's trying to make China's human rights violations okay because, well, we look at the way the world is and not the way we want it to be. That's an awful message. And sure, yeah, we need to look at how things actually exist, but the way he's framing it here, he's using it to dismiss their human rights violations. And then saying, well, we're going to have guardrails in place and we'll work with them in a way that we can work with them. And we'll just ignore that stuff. This is ridiculous. And that's why I say we should sell them things, but we shouldn't have them in our country. They shouldn't be buying land. They shouldn't be buying properties. They shouldn't have investments in our country. We should be selling them stuff.
Give you a current example.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that logic, but it's a bit too late for that now, isn't it? Bit too late. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today's stream. This man is single-handedly destroying Canada as we know it, selling us off piece by piece to China. And yeah, it's been a hell of a ride so far. 2026 has just begun. Parliament is set to return in 10 days. The 10-day countdown has begun. The 26th shall be the big return. But anyway, that is going to do it for me for today. Have a great rest of your day or night, depending on where you are from. But the left can decide their wish to make it their way. Yeah, the left can do whatever the hell they want, apparently. I don't even know what their overall goal is other than destroying the country. Anyway, like I said, though, that's going to do it for me. Take it easy, everybody. Adios.
Of the last point, which is we are a member, as you know, of the Coalition of the Willing to back Ukraine. And that is an example. Those countries in that coalition, over 30 countries, share values on a broad range, including all of those